Hello and welcome to the Independent Ghana TV. This is the explainer. I'm Andy Obramitete. Basically, what the show would do would be to tackle topical issues, break them to fine details, explain to you in basic terms what they mean to you and how they will impact your life. Today, we're looking at the Ghanaian economy. We're asking the question, what would happen should Ghana's economy crash? Finance Minister Ofori-Atta made it known that should government not be able to implement its domestic debt exchange program means to restructure its debt, the economy would crash by March. So a crashed economy is one that is characterized with social chaos, is currently not doing so much, governments not generating enough, industries not producing more, not being able to employ more, and basically there's a standstill in the economy. If government is not able to implement this DDEP by March, this is what will happen to the economy. You'd have the general prices of goods and services rising. So if you were purchasing a book at 5 cedi, you can't get that again at 5 cedi because the operational cost has increased. Either the raw material has increased or the transportational cost. If you're producing the product at Tamale and you have to move it to Accra, you have to get a vehicle and this vehicle would have to use fuel. And this, as things are increasing, you can't keep the price of the good at that same level. You'd have to increase it in order to be able to produce more. Expensive goods means that people can't demand more. If I'm having an income of 500 Ghana cedi and I used to buy a book at 5 cedi and it's no longer 10 cedi and I bought 2 a week, I have to buy 1 now. And with lower demands means that industries cannot produce more. When they can't produce more, they would have to let go of more stuff in order to stay afloat. Let's look at the agric industry. If a farmer employs 5 hands in order to produce 200, let's say, produce of tomato, and each 5 hands produce about 40, and now he gets a demand of 100 due to demand decreasing due to the high cost of produce, you'd have to hire about, let's say, 2 people in order to meet this 100 produce of tomatoes, so which means that each person will be producing about 50. Then what happens to the people who have been let go? They add up to the unemployment ratio we have in the country. Education is one of the many initiatives President Akufo-Addo seeks on championing. He introduced the free SHS policy in 2017. And government has been funding this. Though there have been challenges, it's still trying to do that. Should we get to the stage where, as a crashed economy, government won't have any amount of money to fund this initiative, which means that over millions of students who have been enrolled in schools would have to come back and get ways of means to earn money to go back to school. Let's look at tertiary institutions. Parliament has approved a 15% increment in fees and academic fees. So school fees, residential fees, everything is rising. Should we get to that stage, this would escalate. This would rise, which means that if you're paying 2,000 cedis for school fees in UJ, you'll be paying about almost 100%. That's about 4,000 Ghana cedi. And when this doesn't happen, you'd have to drop out. In 2022, since Ghana saw a decline in its economic growth, there have been several protests by Arise Ghana. We've already recorded about so many protests, and when this happens, you would expect more. People would need an avenue to vent. They will need a legal avenue to come out and tell government this is what is happening. So you should expect more. Government might risk losing its control over the people because you'd have people being pissed. So then the issue of civil unrest, Ghana has already recorded some of these takeovers. Nkrumah fell victim. Late Jerry John Rawlings also took over power from Hilary Mann in order to ensure that the economy is thriving. Unfortunately, he himself saw some challenges. So when we get to that stage, government's ability to control or govern people becomes a problem. Government institution by the people, for the people, and of the people. At this point, you'd have the people coming against the government to take matters into their own hands. The way forward is Ghana restructuring its debt, would keep tabs on how the economy would run and how the finance minister and the Akufo-Addo-led government would ensure that government and Ghana sees a bright economic future. This is where we draw the curtains on today's episode on The Explainer, and we looked at the Ghanaian economy. Stay tuned for subsequent editions. My name is Andy Ogamitete.